Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review John Henry. And I remember this film popping up probably, if I can remember correctly, it was probably towards the beginning of quarantine on Netflix. And this technically is not a Netflix original film, but it is a film of 2020 that they picked up the distribution of really quickly. And it's a thriller starring Terry Crews, written and directed by Will Forbes, about this man who lives in his neighborhood and gets caught up in a gang situation where a young woman finds her way up on his step when she escapes from a gang shooting. And film centers around this budding connection and this man stepping up to protect his neighborhood. And it has tons of John Henry symbolism, even up to the climax where he comes out with his hammer. And this film, the dialogue is meh. It's not very strong dialogue. These characters aren't saying anything that's really going to keep you engaged, which I feel bad because Terry Crews is definitely game here. He shows up and he brings a lot to his character, and he's by far the most interesting character. And his father is funny. He's supposed to be the comic relief. His humor isn't always the best humor, and sometimes it feels really uncomfortable with some of the things that he says. And then you have Ludacris playing the leader of this gang who shows up probably for the last 20 minutes of the movie. And he has this connection with John Henry as they're related. And there's some inspired moments in this film where it gets really B-movie kind of genre flick. And I feel like that the film's having its most fun then, and it's probably the most interesting at those points. The rest of the film is very self-serious, and I don't feel like it really works, especially when it's trying to mix those other scenes where it's being a little less serious. And there's some cool moments in the climax of the shootout and confrontation at the end of the film, but it's also really on the nose and cliched and obnoxious at times, and it's just come on. There's not a lot of finesse to this film. It comes in like John Henry's hammer, like a sledgehammer, and hits you right in the face. And it could have had more fun and more of a tongue-in-cheek kind of tone to it through most of the film, but it was only a few moments where it really dives into that where it becomes more interesting, because otherwise it's dark, it's gloomy, it's not very interesting or engaging most of the film. And they try to build up John Henry as a character in an interesting way, and he has some interesting aspects of his character, but in the end it feels like a really forgettable action thriller. And when all's said and done, you probably won't remember John Henry long after you watch it. But those are my thoughts on the film John Henry on Netflix. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.